Hey everyone, welcome back. This video is coming in after an enormous amount of problem solving, bug fixing, and a bunch of rabbit holes were followed down. Um, it all started with the first quest when we went outside, and one thing I noticed was that we were getting like this pause or a loading area warning, almost every 30 seconds, maybe even less. And I thought it might have had something to do with the LOD. I'm not sure if you guys know, but Oblivion was the first game that Bethesda had which contained LOD, and LOD allows you to draw in objects from a distance. It's kind of like a low resolution texture of some sort. And because it was a new bit of software, it seemed to have some pretty big issues on Oblivion, and there wasn't a whole lot. So um, what you can see now is an improved LOD, which has got, you can see, Kvatch over here. What's that? Um, Skingrad over in the distance, and some ruins and whatnot. All of this was supposed to be a part of the settings that we had originally, um, but I'm not sure what happened exactly, but it just wasn't appearing, and there was some issues. So I went down this huge rabbit hole about trying to find out exactly what it was that was making the problem. And I could have sworn that it was the LOD, but in the end it was something else. Alright, I've just opened up MO2 for you, just to see kind of the list of mods that I've got in here now after trying to sort out the issue. So it turned out it actually wasn't LOD at all after doing all of these extra mods, like almost everything visible went distant, and all the patches required, double checking LOD gen and the rest of it. It was actually this mod here, Purge Cell Buffers Plus Plus. Now, the base part of this mod is actually really good. It'll really help later on when we've got tons of mods. But there was some what should have been optional settings that are set on by default, and they were just like destroying the game. They seem to be purging cells that were a part of the LOD as soon as they were created, and making a whole lot of problems for us here. Another thing it was doing that I noticed, and I thought was actually better saves, but this mod here, which is supposed to only purge cell buffers, was actually creating save files at the end of every combat sequence and every location found, and was really, causing significant pauses in the gameplay, and was basically unplayable. So once I figured that out, I went through and turned off all those what should have been optional extras, and now we're running much better. Another problem that I came across because of the LOD stuff that I put in, that there was a little bit of a performance issues, and I was able to fix that with some other quests that are other mods that I would consider mandatory nowadays. Is the Oblivion Starter Remover with one setting removed, and Oblivion Display Tweaks, which is a 2020 mod that enabled as well. And they use OBSE, the Oblivion Script Extender, so they don't really affect, there's no extra ESPs or anything with them, but they've really helped the frame rate and everything. Alright, just so that no one makes the mistake of actually looking through this list here and just downloading and installing everything by default, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to rename some of the mods to say advanced modder or intermediate modder, so that people have a bit of an understanding about what they're getting into if they were to install these mods. See, a mod like Blockhead here, it can just be downloaded either to a file or from Nexus, and it can just be put into the downloads folder, and you can just double click it, maybe at most maybe click manual here and select your data folder and then install it. That's what I would consider a beginner mod. All a beginner modder really needs to do is install a downloaded file, sort your plugins, make your bash patch, and go. You know, that's and I reckon 80% of mods are just that, nice and simple, nothing to worry about. To become an intermediate modder, in my opinion, would be the ability to download a file like Purge Cell Buffers and understand the files within those mods, and then find the ini file that's within that, and then make changes so that it works with your build. I think another part of being an intermediate modder is the use of Oblivion mod manager, and then being able to install a mod in that through a wizard, and then bringing that mod back into MO2. For instance, what you need to do with Mascar's Oblivion Overhaul, although it's definitely doable as a beginner, it makes a lot more sense when you've got a bit more experience with modding in Oblivion. With MOO, one of the things you're supposed to do is install that through Oblivion Mod Manager, go through the wizard, pick all the things you want, and then push that back into MO2 and then run. So what makes an advanced modder? Well, to me, an advanced modder not only can manipulate the mod files and understand everything in those and how to inject them into the game, but also has a very advanced understanding about how these modding tools like Nexus or Mod Organizer and how they operate. I don't know if I'd call myself anywhere near an expert modder just yet. I've still got a lot to learn when it comes to MO2, seeing as this is the first time I've really brought it into Oblivion. Previously, I used Vortex and Nexus Mod Manager. A really advanced mod to get working, in my opinion, is something like Landscape Log Generator. This one required the installation into the game files, moving those files around into the data folder, and then a number of other steps inside of both here and in just File Explorer to get running. Alright, seeing as I said we would install a new mod before going on our adventures up north from Anvil up to Coral, I wanted to install the map marker overhaul. This will allow us to go through a dungeon and then mark done when we're finished, and it also changes the time at which you see map markers come up on your compass. So that means that if we want to do some adventuring, instead of just looking down at our compass and following it blindly, we kind of have to keep an eye out for landmarks or ruins or maybe a shrine or something like that. So the LOD will help with that too, because now we'll be able to see things a bit further out, and then we can just wander over to them.